I will go ahead and turn it over to Billy. And Jordan and Jake, would you guys first actually go through and introduce yourselves, and then we'll let Billy get started?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thanks for having us, John, again. It's great being back on. Love being on doing these webinars with you, so thank you for that. My name is Jake Liu. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Aivre, in my opinion, the best appraisal technology company out there. I'm a certified residential appraiser. I've been doing it for about 12 years now, and I'll let Jordan take intro himself.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Jordan Lesson. I'm the CTO, or essentially just a tech guy here at Ivory. Basically, everything that Billy's about to show off is what me and our engineering team built over the past little bit over a year. But yeah, super excited to be here. I'm a trainee appraiser myself. Been working in software for the past 8 years, mainly on AI related projects, and this one was a fun one, so I'm super excited to show this off to you guys. And
All
I'll
right.
pass it off here to Billy. Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Janelle. Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate the platform you got us going on here. I guess we're going to dive right into it. I'm lucky enough to have done about 20 of these now. I work for IREM Solutions, AMC out of Buffalo, New York. And we were fortunate enough to get a lot of these 3.6 orders. And they've all gone to me so far. So I'm going to show you how to get these things done. So what I do first, obviously, when I'm at the inspection, I'm doing a lot of the same stuff I was doing before. Photos, measuring, getting all the data points I need with 3.6, front door height, front elevation. So now we're back at the office, and now I'm ready to type one of these things. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. We're going to get underway here. Right, share. You guys good? See it?
Yep, we see it.
Perfect. All right. We'll pull up the Aivre software. So we're going to create a new report here. All right. So we're just going to do a sample property today. So we have it all set up for you. So we're going to do,
Hey
there
Billy,
it
do you
is.
wanna close that little window on the bottom right just so we can give more
Oh,
space to everyone?
gotcha.
I know
Yep.
everyone wants to see my pretty face, but
And you're good. Where am I going? Just X in that?
yeah, just press X. Yeah.
All right. You guys good now? Good. Sorry.
All good, all good.
All right, awesome. All right, we're back in here. All right, so this is what you see when you first create an order. We're going to get our street address. This is our demo. And this is the good feature with Ivory, the AI autofill. We're going to go ahead and check that. It'll just say how they pay for the stuff now. I'm going to create our new order. All right. So it's already coming up with public record data. It's saying data found. So we're going to go ahead. It's got our dwellings already. It's already got us one. It's saying no outbuildings. Perfect. Continue. Property photos. This is where we can add our photos from our inspection that we are on. So I'm going to go ahead and locate those now. We're just dragging and dropping these in here. It's going to process these. We're going to continue. So at this time, you can upload an engagement letter or sales contract. With the software, it's going to read all that as well and input it into the report for you. But we do not have any of this right now because we're just kind of doing like a demo refinance. So no contract, no letter. It's going to analyze all this for us. Might take 2 to 3 minutes here. All right. Not seeing all the photos. Jake or Jordan, you got any input on
It's
that?
only looking at interior photos here. So if you had more than so right now we're classifying each interior photo and basically giving it a room type, especially what level it's on.
Mhm.
I believe you uploaded 18 photos. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were all of them, it looks like we have what, 8 here that were
I
used
was gonna say,
for.
yeah, all the interior ones came through. No, I'm not seeing the exterior.
Yeah, that's expected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I was gonna say something when I was typing the other ones. It just came up last time, but all right, we'll go ahead and keep it moving then. All right, so it just gives you kind of like a sample if you want a
Billy,
sample title.
can
Oh,
I
sorry.
stop you for a second? Someone's
Yeah.
asking, where did the photos come from? Phone or iPad?
I use a phone. I just use a mobile device. I use my iPhone and then I send them over to my email.
In this case, we're just talking about the desktop reporting, so we're not showing the mobile app and all of that, just for the
Yep.
audience.
I was gonna say I still have yet to use the mobile app. I haven't got into it yet. I'm still going to inspections with sketch paper, laser measuring device, and I just take all my data that way. But keep going here. So it does sometimes have a little error. You just got to go ahead and switch that. So that is a bedroom actually. So all you do, it gives you the opportunity to steer the ship, if you will. You can kind of just go ahead and edit things as you need to. I don't really like to have more sample titles, it's a little redundant, so I kind of just erase all those. Got our utilities here, and then we have a rec room. Perfect. Go ahead and confirm that. Now it's going to go into public records, grab everything it can from available data. It says we got 74 fields filled out already. And if it does have an MLS listing, if it just say it was a sale, it's going to pull even more data for you. Now it's doing the photos.
Yeah, and regarding the last step there, it's only interior photos that get classified. And it's just how the 3.6 report works. It's only interior photos that need to be put to a specific level in a unit, and classified as a room type. Exterior photos, there's no need for that. So that's why you only saw interior photos on the last step.
There we go. All right, so now it's going to pull up all of our stuff here that it found from public record. So we got our demo owners and stuff. We got all my information because it's my profile. So it has all that saved in there for you. It's going to grab all the site sizes. It's going to grab everything we need from site, all from public record.
Sorry, can
And then if we
you
want to, we can.
explain what all this, what we're looking at right now?
Yeah, so this is just showing all the data points that Ivory just collected from either public record or MLS record. And now we can go ahead and hold on. Can I share my, let me switch my screen here. All right. And then we can go ahead and verify all this data. In our realist record, or however you get it, assessment record. I don't know how all you people verify your data, but you can go ahead. All the same data that we had in this, you just cross-reference, check over, make sure that everything is lined up and in order, and you're verifying all that. These are all the data points. Oh, I gotta switch screens back. Sorry about that. Both here. All right, so we're back here. So that's where you can double check and cross-reference all this, and then you can select or unselect any item you see not fit. We're going to go ahead and put all these into the report, and then we're going to make our changes once we get into the report. That's kind of how I realize you can save some time, is just get everything that you need out there and then go in and verify and edit as you need once you get to that section in the new report.
And one thing to
So,
note here too as well. Sorry, Billy, cut you off.
yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, keep going.
This took like 3 4 less than 3 minutes, and we got looks like 285 data points filled out from those data
Yep.
sources, the photos, public records, and
285.
285. So just imagine 285 being saved of the manual data points that it has to go through when getting into the report, automatically filled in for them automatically.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to open the report here. All right. So this is going to be very straightforward stuff. I know if I'm talking on it, it's going to be a little tougher, but assignment reason here, it's just a drop-down menu. We're going to go ahead for this demo. We did a refinance. We did a traditional appraisal. No, because I said we went out and did the inspection. So we're just doing ones that have the red dot next to them. That means they're what am I, what's the word I'm looking for?
They're required.
These are
Yeah.
required. There it is. So we're going to do that. These are required. So we can go ahead and add our borrower name here. So let's just say it's his owner. It's the same person as public record. Put them in there. And look, it had it already in there as over public record. Just say it's both borrowers. You can just come in here, copy, paste everything. So our borrowers, our sellers are all the same. As an appraiser, we have our clients and our contacts here. So it was a physical for both. And we'll do today's date. Aivre has all this stuff inputted there for you. And then there's our license as well. So we already completed. Oh, we can add. And if you missed something, it got that red thing over there in the corner here. It lets you know that you did miss something. You just need to add more. So let's just say client. We got just say our lender, company X. Then you can just do a random street address. We'll just do, let's see, 100 Main. And go ahead and populate it. So that's in there.
Yeah, and another thing, Billy, if you could show it off, is that in the right side, there's a little bug icon.
Yep.
And
Right
if you
here.
click on that, yes, that will show also all the errors in the report
Yep.
too.
These are all the steps we're going to be completing throughout. Yep.
Yeah, so that's available for you to always look at.
All right. So we're done with the assignment section. I don't see any more red. We're going to move on to subject property. And there it is. It already uploaded our subject property photo in there. It already's got our county. It's got our neighborhood name. It's got all these points already filled out for me. And then like I said, I have two screens, so it's hard to do this. I'm cross-referencing everything through my realist record, through my data, through my assessment on my other screen because I have two monitors. So I'm just showing you how I can drag and drop. So I'm looking at that screen on my left there. So I'm verifying all this data as I'm going through. So legal descriptions, sometimes they want like a deed and page number. So we can put that, see deed book, and then we go ahead. Scroll down. We'll grab our deed and book number. All right. And there's our subject property section, all finished. Move on to site. It's got our site size, our APN. Sorry about that. We got our classification, OR2, zoning code, 1 to 4, family.
And one thing to point out too as well, even though the AI did get a lot filled in, 250 plus, Jordan and I, we believed, when developing this product is, any data that we weren't comfortable filling in for you, we left blank to left for you to the appraiser. So great example there. We didn't have zoning for Billy to automate that directly in. Billy just adds that in. One thing to note too, everything in red is a required data point to be filled out. As you see that bug on the right side of the screen toolbar, you'll see that number kind of decreasing as he's going through.
As I'm going through, yep.
Yep. So that's kind of like your number of data points to hit as you're going through it.
Yep. And everything I'm filling in, I'm getting from that realist record I'm showing you, or the assessments office, or whether it's a phone call with them, or they have a website or a zoning map. It's just from that source right there. So here's all more stuff. It's got our street scene. puts it in there for you. Our access type, just a local road. It adds more descriptions if you need to, but like you said, only the ones that stars you can fill out. So, I mean, sometimes I leave it, sometimes I don't, depending on how I'm feeling. Moving on, it's got residential, boral neutral. Any site conditions, this is just a ranch in Depew, New York is my market, so there are no conditions available. So we're selecting none. And if something were to be a problem, you'd click and it kind of adapt as you go, as you can see. But if it's none, you don't have to report on it. Moving on to our view, residential. This is all stuff we reported in the 1004 and the legacy forms. It's just filling it out in a different way, and Ivory's doing that for us. So residential view, if it's in a hazard zone, add item. Like I said, it's just a standard cookie cutter in a neighborhood. No hazards noted.
Billy, when you said Ivory's doing that for you, are you saying like from photo recognition as far as like the view goes?
In terms of which one? Sorry.
I think you were at like view.
Yeah, view to impact. Yes, it put it in there for you, and it's reading this right here, this property access photo.
Got it.
And then you could go back in there if you need to and adjust if it doesn't grab something. If it does grab something, you can go ahead and switch that if you will. So I'm seeing just more residential homes all around. So got it in there for us. And scroll down. We got our utilities. So I have that screen on my left that has all our utilities. So we got our public electric, and then we can add our comment on and operational. Check all this at the inspection. Water, sewer, and then we're going to add our gas. If there's any site defects, check no for this one. There's no site defects at my inspection. We're done with the site section. We'll move on here. Mitigation. I think you can break it down even more, just say you don't need to help understand what it is. Show this Aivre feature for you guys. Any risk from disaster or anything like that. So like I said, standard neighborhood cookie cutter in Depew, New York. Nothing going on there. None. Energy efficient and green features. This is if there's any like solar panels or things of that nature, building certs, LED, NGBS. All it is a simple yes, no. If there is yes, there is no. All we're doing is clicking yes or no. Like I said many times throughout this 1966 ranch, not too many energy efficient or green features for this one. So we're just clicking no there and moving on to the next section, which would be our sketch.
Billy, can I pause
Yeah.
you now just because this is from the previous screen on the views? Someone asked a good question. You know how we tend to do road / green belt, abbreviated. So what if there's more than one impact to view? Can you select more than one?
Yep. So you can go ahead right back. We're talking site influence, right?
Right.
The
Yep.
the view section, I believe,
Oh,
actually.
view. All right, we're doing view. Yep.
Yes, it does allow you to add multiple
You could
views.
just click the plus and you can add more if you need to. You got all the
Got it.
all the stuff in the old form all right here if you need it. So you can add commercial, just say it's bordering something. Partial. Yep.
And I
You
don't
could add
want to
all
delay you. I want to ask another question for
No, you're good. I was going to
2 more
say it.
minutes. But
As
several
they
people
come in.
several
Now,
people have asked this, so might as well answer it.
yeah.
This is more for Jake and Jordan. Whose MLS are you guys plugged into the MLS? Or do y'all use the appraisers MLS to integrate with your system?
So yeah, kind of both. We integrate with about 90% MLSs across the nation. However, that doesn't mean we could just plug in as easily as that. We need two pieces of information from you as a user. One is the MLS board name, and two is your MLS number or identifier. And this will allow us to kind of plug into their MLS data feed and pull data for your reports.
And kind of.
And I'm sorry,
Okay.
I just want to say that I'm not trying to make this an Ivory session. I totally appreciate you guys. So I won't interrupt, but so many people asked the question that I just wanted to kind of get that off the list. So, well,
No,
Yeah,
it's and
absolutely.
also kind of later on, and that's standard across the board. The reason why we ask for ID numbers is for us to verify that they're a paying subscriber. I know, you have to have that. That's kind of across the country, kind of a standard for that. So,
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to our sketch section. Lets you pick how you measured the property when you were out at your inspection, ANSI standards. You can add more commentary if you need to. So currently I do not use the Aivre sketch tool. I actually still use my ACI software and just transfer it over because it's much easier, more comfortable to me. So they do give you that option where you can add it in a sketch exhibit here. So we're going to add our exhibit. Right. Put it on our desktop here. Got our sketch. Oh, that's our basement sketch, but we can add that as well while we're here.
Yep. And it should be noted that he's uploading a PDF
Yeah,
here.
PDF or JPEG, whatever you want to.
Yeah,
I
both
could have
are
did them
both
both
are
at the same
usable.
time, it looks like, so that makes it
Yep.
easy. But all right, we got both our sketches in here now. Move on to the dwelling exterior section. This is all stuff that it pulled for us. Units, front door elevation. So that new data point that we just measured, and you can see in the photo right there, you can just verify that 1 to 2. That looks about right. Perfect. And if I was at my inspection, I would know if that's right. Any converted areas? There's none. So these are some, if you want to fill these out, they're not required. No star next to them. If you want to go deeper, structure volume, window surface. Gives you a opinion. If the quality and condition, it gives you what it thinks from the photos, but obviously you are the steer of the ship, so you can choose whatever you need to on this one. So from the photos in my inspection, I determined Q4 and C4. Exterior, it's got my brick and my wood. Brick, it had wood on the sides, so it was correct there. It's got your condition and comments. If you need to add those, you can erase these. They're not required, but you can keep them in there. Foundation. See, so it says slab. It actually was a basement, so switch it to basement. Our roof, was our roof observable? Yep, it was. You can see on the photos. So this is all just data we're getting from our inspection. It's just doing it for us, which is amazing. So windows, got our double hung, typical wear and tear. Perfect. Non-continuous, no. Heating. Yep, it was correct. It was just forced air. Cooling system, it's got our AC. And then you can add pictures at the bottom of all this. I'll show you once we get down there, but it's finding all this just from the photos, and we're just going over verifying that, yes, all this stuff did happen at the inspection, and we're seeing it all in public records as well, and assessment data. We're just verifying it all.
Yep.
So there we go. We got our side photo. There's our AC. There's our rear photo. If you want to add more, you can add another side photo if you want. If you took both sides, let's do that.
Yeah, and
Show
while
you
you're
how
uploading that, I want to answer a question here. Someone said, "Can you pull commentary to include common responses?" And the answer to that is yes. We do have a commentary database that you could utilize, as well as you can actually generate AI commentary as well. And I'm not sure if you ever utilize that, Billy, but
I
that
was
is
gonna
a
say, I
feature.
haven't gotten into that. I know that's probably a newer feature because I haven't seen that too much
Yes.
yet. So all right, so that goes ahead and covers the dwelling exterior section. I believe so. I don't see any more red in the building 1 section. So I think we're all set to move on to the interior of the unit, unit 1. All right, so it's already got this from public record, our finished above grade, but then if we go to our sketch, we can just go ahead and verify and confirm at the property. There it is, just our standard ranch home here. So finished above grade, non-standard, there's 0 because everything was finished. Unfinished, above grade, there was no So this is all just data, right? Like I said all the time, we're getting from our inspection. Finish below grade. So there was some finish below grade space, I believe. Yep, 414. So we're going to input that. We're just getting that from our sketch and our measurements from our inspection. Finish below grade non-standard, 0. And the rest of the below grade, let's see if we can do some quick math here. I believe it is 678. That lets you go ahead and verify where you got that from. Physical measurements, below grade finishes compared. So you can see the rec room. Should have it in here somewhere. Just ask you if it's the same finish. You can choose as well. So similar. Number of levels, basement counts as a level now in 3.6. So it is 2 levels. It's vacant. 3 bed, 1 bath. That's all accurate. Level 1. So level 1 had all finished. So it was 1092. Unfinished, there was 0. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure all of our photos came in the right place there. So we got our living room, our kitchen, bedroom 1, bath, bed, and bed. It did all that. It did all that for me. Quality and condition, you can verify with the photos and on your inspection. Standard with Q4 and C4. Said our kitchen's not updated. Doesn't look updated. So you can go ahead and partially, if you think it's partially updated, you can go with partially, and then you could go ahead and go with more there. Bathroom. Like I said, you can go back. Bathroom, dated bathroom. Not updated. Move on. Interior features, we got our flooring, hardwood, vinyl.
Did this all come from the
Vinyl,
photo
hardwood.
recognition?
Correct.
This all came from photo recognition. Yep. And I'm just just making
He's
sure.
just checking. Yeah.
Yeah,
All he's doing is now is just checking over the work.
I'm just making sure that it matches with what I used to do before. Right. Just make sure it's accurate with my photos. Just checking. All that is done for me.
The
Vinyl.
Aivre's integrated to REST-B for that?
We have our own I guess more proprietary AI, but we also do utilize REST-B in some capacity.
Gotcha.
Gonna say you can add the tile from the bathroom in there. That just shows some of the sample flooring pictures that it grabbed. Accessibility features, anything to help with the disability. There is none present, none. Moving on. So it says, see how we finished the section, it still says 2 there, so we can go ahead and scroll back up and see where we missed here. All right, and we forgot our basement. There we go. So level and room, we got our basement now. It's fully below grade. You can only access it through the interior. Finished, I believe we had 414 and 678 unfinished. And there's our utility room with our utilities, and there's our finished rec room. So you could go ahead and select inferior if you don't think that's the same as the first here. So you can go inferior, match that there. That's all set there. Completes that section. Any functional issues you noticed, whether it's ceiling height, floor plan, anything like that, select none and move on. Any outbuildings? If there are no outbuildings, move on. If not, you can add them. Then it gives you all the prompts to go through those. Just delete that for now. All right, our storage, it picked up our garage there for us. So we got a 2-car garage. And then from our realist record, we can do, or you can measure it at the data site, but this is a sample. So I do not have the garage, so we'll just grab it from here. Good, and then we do have a driveway as well. So it's got garage and driveway, concrete, 10 spaces or more. No, there's about 8 spaces we'll say the driveway can fit. Completes that section. Amenities. Got our porch. Doesn't have any photos of it, but then we can go ahead and grab it from here. Porch photo, concrete. It's got our fireplace, our stone fireplace in our living room there. And then it kind of gives us a generic reconciliation of the overall quality condition, or you could add your own. Let's just say you said this is where you can add your favorite kind if you have anything like that. So I'll just add one in there. That qualifies for C4 and Q4. Add your comment. All right. Now we're going to go to the highest and best use. So this should all be done throughout your inspection, throughout your research, throughout all your data, market data, throughout all that. So is the highest best use? Yes. Legal principle? Yes, 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 yes. And then here's where you can add another one of your comments. All right, so this is where we're going to kind of use another one of Aivre's tools here. We're going to use the analytics. We'll show you how we can transfer over a CSV file into here. So we will open analytics. Let me switch my screen here so you can see how we can I can just drag and drop it over here. We'll keep this screen actually. All right, so you can see my ML here now.
We don't see anything yet.
Nope, nothing. Not screen sharing anymore.
No.
Get back here. All right, back.
We see Zoom now. Yep. We see the entire screen, it looks like.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to pull up our ML. So you could add this filter however you want it. If you want to pull it out longer, if you want it shorter, but I'm just going to do 12 months for this one. And create our CSV file. So here we are, Cheektowaga and Depew is our neighborhood. We're going to go ahead here. I'm going to draw our rectangle where we see fit. And it's right to the edge of that row right there for this market. So it grabs all of this data from my ML. We are going to export. We're going to export all fields. Went ahead and downloaded there. Pull back up here. All right, we're going to go back into Aivre here now. Let that load. All right, we're going to load up my mapping that I do. Just gets everything hooked up with my local MLS. It tries to auto populate as much as it can, but if it doesn't know where it is in your certain ML, it's got to cipher through all the rows and columns. So just make sure all these say 100% if they're required. So it's saying 9 out of 10 address is not formatted correctly, so we can go in here.
Try loading in your mapping again. I think that should solve it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll just load my mapping now. Load back in my mapping and we're good. 10 out of 10, all required. So we have all the data points we need to complete the analytics. Stress that there's any outlier sales. So it's going to ask for a subject property. So if it was currently a sale or pending sale, it would be in that CSV file that you just transferred over. So it'd be really easy to find, but we'll just enter it manually. This is just a sample address in that market. Be helpful if I spelled it right. Okay.
And while you're typing that in, I'll answer some questions here from
Yeah, I was
chat.
going to say, it should have auto
Kill some
populated, but
time.
let me just type this in really quick.
So Ashley says finished below grade, non-standard. Is that roughly finished rooms? And I think the definition of it is mainly for rooms that don't comply with the measurement standards like ANSI.
Requirements. Yeah.
So those would count as non-standard areas. We also got some other questions here.
Didn't want to do that.
Is there a mobile app? Yes, there is a mobile app. It's on the App Store currently. We also are submitting to the Google Play Store currently as we talk, so Android users will have a solution coming up real soon.
Jordan, somebody asked if y'all have a sketch program.
We do have a sketch program, both in the mobile app and on web. And it is getting a huge upgrade very, very soon, probably the next day or two. So super excited to be showing that off. And that imports directly into your report as well.
Billy,
All
I
right.
have a question for you because you're
Go
moving
ahead.
through this like a pro. How long did it take you to get this comfortable? Is it file number 20, file number 18?
Yeah, I'd say ball out like 7 or 8, maybe. And then they keep coming out with like new features that are super helpful. So I'm kind of like learning those as I go. Like I created my first like 5 orders without all this cool like analytics stuff. So I had to do like all that manually through like my ML and transferring it over. So the market section took a lot longer before all this came out. But now that this is out, this definitely helps big time.
Yeah, and Janelle, just to explain, Billy was with us when we first released this product, when we had nothing, like no automation, no help with to him at all. And so he was a trooper just typing everything in. And now you can see how refined his process is, how much time he's saving with each report. So it's really cool to see the evolution of that.
I also want to give Billy
Just
some
want
clout
to
too.
point out, I don't know what screen we were on, but I saw the word neighborhood.
I was
So,
gonna say, yeah, you could save neighborhoods in here if you want on the
no,
report.
Yeah, I
it
changed
showed
that.
Billy because
Yeah,
the GSs don't like the word neighborhood.
right.
Mark it, mark it.
Yeah.
To give Billy clout, actually, to give a shout out to Billy. Billy was actually our very first report submitted, but also he did a 4 unit. So
Yeah, for his
that's
first
How
report,
many
right?
extra data points that took? Keep clicking yes for every box, another 10 sections pop up. You're like, oh, here we go. Definitely took
40 unit and also the very first completion report done in the country too as well.
tedious to say the least. So we went ahead and just outlined our market there that we transferred over. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our market data. We're going to do some market analysis here. So look at that. It's even got our estimated subject market value. It grabbed all those sales from our ML and just broke it down for us. We didn't have to do a thing. So click 1 year because that's all I used was the last 12 months. We're going to save that to the report. Or you could download it to your PC if you just want to have it. It's got all these cool graphs they came with: days on market, year built distribution, absorption rate, sale to list price ratio. So a ton of great analytics and stuff that they just provide for you once you give them the right data. So like I said, we saved the report. I'll just double check I did that. Beautiful.
I guess we didn't answer Kim's question because Kim just answered how long does it take for you to do it? Does he mean 7 or 8 hours now per report, or how long at first compared to now?
I was gonna in the beginning, like the first reports that I was doing manually, yeah, they took hours, yes. But now with all this automation and the features, it's hopefully I have this thing done by the end of this webinar.
If we stop
Under the gun, we'll
distracting
see
you,
how that
okay,
goes.
go for it. We'll leave you alone.
No, you're good. Trust me. I'm happy to answer all the questions. So we're just adding in all the data points that it gave us here. Just applying or an export it. So it's got our market boundaries that I just set when I drew that neighborhood. And it's got all of our active sales, our pending sales, our recent sales, everything in the look back. Look back period was only 12 months though, so you go ahead and switch that. And then you could send and select to report. And that's our first one. Don't look at any of those, sorry. Those are the ones we've done, so that's my sample. All right, so that transferred over there for us. And with this, because I'm already in analytics, I'm going to go ahead because I already do have my comparable sales picked out. But if you did, you'd obviously just go to your MLS, do your research how you normally find your comparable sales. But since I've already found them, we will add all of them to comp set. Can review our comp set. And we will find our sales that we'll be using. We'll do it a different way. Hold on.
Are you trying to select comps?
Yep, I'm just pulling up comps here.
You selecting these from the CSV file you already imported into?
That I already imported, but when I'm selecting this comps, I have two screens here. So on my left screen is my ML, where I'm looking at all these comps, looking at the interior photos, how I'm doing all that.
But you're going in there and selecting them to be.
But yes, they're all in here for me because they're in the neighborhood that I just drew.
Got it.
And through my CSV file. So all right. So I'll remove all the rest. So it should leave me with 3, I'm assuming, if I did that correctly. There we go. Perfect. Go back up here, export comparable sales. I got my 3. All right, we can go back into our order now.
Yep.
Go back down. We're going to go into market first just to make sure. So everything I just did in that analytics page transferred over into my order here. All that data, active listings, median days on market, all this data from what I grabbed. So originally when I was first doing this, like I said, I was grabbing it from my MLS, finding all those data points. But now with all the integration tools with your local MLS, it's amazing what it can do. So our source was Western New York MLS, is where we got all that data from. So it's saying it's a shorted over, so it should be under. And then you can pick and choose what graphs you want to transfer over into your report as well. So let's just say you don't need absorption rate, or you don't want year build, or just say that's off. You can just delete it if you don't want to add those. These are just kind of just market exhibits that further support your conclusion there. All right, so listing information. This is where if it was a purchase, if it were to have any current or relevant listings, you'd select. But this is no, and we verified that at just MLS records. So prior transfer history, so we can pull this up. We can go ahead and let's just say you can pull up our clerk's records to further verify anything you need to. or if you want to go to your realist or however you verify all this information, go ahead and verify all that. But there were no transfers noted. And we got 3 comparable sales. And we did all this, just say we did all this before. Verifying all this info, of course, through either our realist or our assessment data. 1, 2, and 3. Analysis of it. Oh. All right. Now we're going to go ahead into the sales comparison approach here. So everything we inputted earlier for our subject is on the left there. And then the 3 that I inputted through the analytics tool are now on my right. And then if you do need to add more, that's out. If you want to do it outside of that, you can as well. Or if you want to import more. So everything, I'm just making sure everything on the left here is accurate. Just so it all matches up. And then we can go ahead, start inputting data for the comparables. All right. So let me just pull up. So now I'm going to pull up my all right. There we go. We got a sale here. Got our first sale we're going to use. So I'm actually just going to put this on my left screen, but that's the screen I would be using. So I have 2 screens here just to verify and transfer over the data. So we can drag or drop our photo right from that page I just showed you, the ML page. All right, so we're filling out these now. Homeowner responsible for exterior dwellings, ADUs, 0. Price. Oh, it's not coming up. Oh, I got to just switch this. I've noticed it's a little bug here. It's going to even calculate, auto-populate how far we are from our market. What do we, because it's a sample property, it's saying it's far away maybe? Or do I have a zip code wrong? Possibly. That should not be that far away.
Try typing in the address again. Or even when you do your map at the end of this, it should
It should show up.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just I typed it in wrong, or maybe it just transferred over wrong. Perfect. Transfer terms. It is a typically motivated sale because we're finding all this on our MLS. So I've noticed this as well. I forgot to bring this up, Jake and Jordan. The contract date has always been a little wonky, but you just go in and verify that yourself from the page I showed you before. So I just transfer that over. It's a detached, not in a PUD. So these are right, just drop down menus and copy pasting data I have from that screen I showed you before. I'll pull it over here for us so you can see it. So everything right here, that's where I'm getting all the data. Put it back on my left screen here so I can move about it quicker.
Dominic, to answer your question, MLS photos are okay for a 3.6 report. Those are allowed.
Jordan, I'm just going to correct you on one piece of that real quick. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
GSE policy does never require an MLS picture. It never required real pictures. It required you to drive by it. Client conditions require photographs. The new 3.6 will no longer require you to drive by it. However, you still have to default the client requirements and conditions in your engagement letter. So be careful with that. As an industry, we all have to push on that.
Righty. Moving forward here, we're just filling out Just filling out our data from our comparable sale page or from our MLS page where we grabbed our comp from. Let's actually double check this comp. I think this comp actually did have some basement finish. It did. All right. Then we'll go ahead and add a basement comment, just a generic basement comment after in our, I'll show you that later when we get to that. All righty. Obviously from just MLS photos or anything, you can't really tell for finished below grade area. You can't get a stone cold number, but if you can tell some finished space is there. So we can add, if we wanted to add like our porches, or if you wanted to add anything else, all the option here. If you want to dive deeper into it, or if you need to make an adjustment or something value driven, you can add all that by just clicking add relevant row. But all the required rows are already in this grid for you. So add porch as well. Right, detached. Lodge 2. And I'm just getting, and I'm reiterating, just either my MLS page or my public records page on my left screen here. I'm just copy pasting it over into my report.
Want to address one comment there about the comps database. So we're actively currently working on that now to pull in more data to autofill. One thing, Data Master does that for 2.6, but they are not mapping to 3.6. So Data Master will not be able to function with the 3.6 reporting.
Yep. And to expand on that, yeah, we'll allow you to upload quite a bit of information for the comp to have, so you don't have to do a lot of this manual typing here. Spark is also not ready for 3.6, James, as you noted. There are quite a bit of, peripheral companies, I guess, for this report that I believe aren't ready for 3.6 yet, or just are still in the process of getting ready for it.
And we've had talks with Spark, and they're working on it. And I believe they're much closer than Data Master. I'm not sure if Data Master is going to be doing 3.6.
All right, so I'm just kind of keep working through the sales comparison. So like I did with comparable sale 1, I'm just doing the same thing for 2, transferring over from my page on my left screen here. When I found my comps, like I've been doing on the old form, same comp selection, you're just putting it in a new way, putting it in a new report.
So Andrew asks, are we adding an assistant cloud access? So we do have a feature in the platform to manage appraisal reports throughout a team, whether that be a supervisor or an assistant to you. All they need is an Aivre account. You can add them to your organization, assign reports to each of them, and just kind of work on it together. So that's our organizations feature there.
Is it possible, Dennis asked, which is a great question, is it possible after you finish completing one comp that you can copy it for the second comp or the third comp?
Yes, we do have comp duplication, is what we call it. To do it, all you have to do is press there's like a little settings icon or like a gear icon at the top there. There's a button there that says duplicate
Yep,
comparable.
duplicate. You can just transfer it over.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So you can see, obviously, with these cookie cutter neighborhoods and cookie cutter homes, a lot of these homes they have the same amenities, same stuff, but we'll just say this one from the sample data set had a patio. You make your adjustment based off pair sales analysis, or you can go back in that Aivre adjuster and they actually give you a recommended adjustment. Or if you want to do percentage, however you want to do it. So let's just say patio, $1,000. Keep it moving. Got an attached garage here.
Thomas says, can you switch a comp from, let's say, position 1 to position 3? And yes, you
Yep,
can do
right.
that.
That's here.
Yep, it's just as easy as dragging and dropping.
Yep, just a drag and drop.
Are you able to clone a report?
You are. We call them essentially templates, but yes, you are. To do that, Billy, I don't know if you just take a second. You don't have to create one, but can you click on that create new button in the top right when you get a chance, but
Yep,
not actually to the arrow next to it?
gotcha. Yep.
And then it'll prompt you to be able to create a template with this report if you were to click on that.
Thanks.
We've thought of everything, Janelle.
I'm just looking at
They're
questions.
good. They are good.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll transfer over our last photo, our last comp here.
And what's your schedule for comparable autofill?
We'd say 2 weeks max. I'm in the last stages of reviewing it. It's looking good right now, but 2 weeks max. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner than that, to be honest.
Yep, so yeah, just with that contract date thing, that's one I've noticed since I've done a couple that just transfers over a little wonky, but other than that, everything else transfers over really well. All right, I'll get our site size. Zero and all these. You can see with your subject property out there on the left. So just in case you need to go against it. The site built homes.
I also want to give a shout out to ABS and Billy first to be the first people, or I guess first people in our industry to do a live full 3.6 report from start to finish. I can definitely say this is the first that's been done. So I definitely want to say that congratulations to both them, both these guys.
Oh, thanks for having us. Thanks for getting hooked up with you. I mean, you guys have been nothing but great customer service. You guys are always there for me. So appreciate all you. Appreciate Janelle for having me on always. Finish
Absolutely.
below grade. Does this have a basement rec room as well? Let me take a look at my ML screen. Yep, that also had a finished basement area. So it looks like a little larger though.
I was gonna say, I'm very happy to provide this platform and bring as much information as possible and valuation, but Billy's the very, very brave one to do this live. So as soon as you said yes, like half a second later, I'm like booked.
Alrighty, so that's all
There's
set
not
there.
many people out there that would do a 3.6 report live. It takes some confidence.
In front of over 200 people, by the way. Just giving a shout out to that for sure.
All right, so we'll add our porch as well here. And this one had a garage. Attached. Double check. Zero. All righty. All right, so everything has been filled out in the sales grid part of things. So everything looks good there. I just want to verify why this is coming up. It's so far away from the proper subject property. I wonder if it just pulled up a different.
Yeah, so try retyping in that street address for it, if you don't
Okay.
mind. Or again, you could just do the map at the
Oh, that
bottom.
worked. Yeah, it just changed. It was Cheektowaga into Pew, and it's the same. It's kind of the same town mailing, kind of one of
Okay.
those. So, all right, clicked it there. All right, so we got our 3 comps in here. We've transferred all the data over into it. Half me, half the analytics, which is great now. So that's all good. And it'll tell us down at the bottom our adjusted prices here. And then if we do need to make obviously any adjustments, we go through here. So this was obviously the same square footage. So we're not going to make any there. If you want to make any square footage adjustments, you can make those as well. Let me just go in here and I need to make some adjustments. Why not? I need to just say you want it. So that's the old thing. I know a lot of old legacy forms you would just type in your price per square foot adjustment number and it would calculate it for you. With this right now, you're just kind of doing it all manually, but these are all less than 100 square feet with one another. So you can, I'm going to zero all that out if it's nothing more than 100, or sorry, if it's less than 100, less or more. So zero all that out. And then we will scroll down. We'll add up all of
Can you
our.
talk about that last line for comparable weight?
Yep. So with the comparable weight thing, you can add, if you wanted to do more or less of each comp. So you can kind of select if you want to give less weight to that, most weight to that. But I spoke with the guys over at the GSE, and they just said if you're doing equally throughout, just put most for all of them, most, and then in our reconciliation, we'll go ahead and say that comparable sales 1 through 3 have been weighted equally. We'll go about it that way. They just said instead of just having most, less, and no weight. So all most will do.
Gotcha.
All right, so we'll add all these together in our indicated value. 224, if we're going to just go with equal. All right, and then our reconciliation, you can add your favorites like he said. So I'm going to pull up my favorite comps here.
Got a question here from Enrique. Are the validation rules built into your software similar to GSE and lender software validation rules? So we have, yes, the answer to your question is yes. The validation rules are based on the GSE's rules, particularly based on their H1 document that they provided. And then from feedback from actually submitting appraisals, we've actually added in more additional warnings that lenders would like as well. So we have some of both.
All right, so what I just did there, I was just kind of, this is where you can. I mean, I know they want to take away the addenda, they want to take away all the extra commentary, but I was just kind of explaining where I came up with the basement adjustments and the basement square footage because I had estimated just because it was a finished space. I just didn't measure it because it was just an MLS photo or a comp photo. So I just had a save comment in there, added it to my reconciliation along with the final opinion is weighted equally between the 3 of them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab our sales comparison map now. And this is all included with their software, no separate things. You can go ahead and adjust them how you want. Save it to our report. Taking a second here.
Matt, Jake, you guys can jump in, but I wanted to answer this question. Is there an option to show net and gross adjustments for each comparable? And I believe that they've done it with GSEs.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it's in there. It should be right.
It is, but it's no longer a requirement in 3.6, correct?
Yep, it's right here. Total net adjustment.
I believe net adjustments is always required.
but not gross.
I don't believe gross is
I
included
thought I
in
heard 10 or
in
somebody
this
said.
report.
I think it's just not. No.
Yeah.
All right, so we got our map generated there. And we've officially have no more red marks, so we completed the bear of the report, the sales comparison approach. That's obviously where the most time is taken. And I obviously knowing what comparables you're going to use definitely helps a lot in this scenario. Obviously, I did some prerequisites on this one and some preparation finding these 3 sales. So you're obviously finding the sales yourself, like you always do, and then transferring it into this report. All right, so next section, if any rental schedules want to be developed, the income approach you feel like that's necessary or required by your lender or client, you can click yes and no on all of these. Cost approach, it's required into the reconciliation. So it gives you all these options. So the income approach, cost approach, get our market value, reasonable exposure. You can go back to your market if you want and get the number from there, but we'll say 60 days. This in market value. Find our comment we like. That's the wrong comment. 1 second here. There we go. There's the right comment. All right. Cost to repair anything. There's no defects. Saying it did notice a defect in the vehicle storage of the garage. So you can go ahead and go back up into vehicle storage. Let's see where it said. Okay, so it called out in this garage, it called out some just cracking. Could be just wear and tear. FHA might call on it and stuff like that, but a conventional, possibly, depending. But minimally could add it as a defect. If not, it comes up on there. So you can go ahead and add that in there if you want to add a cost, but for this time saving sake, we'll just get those out of there so you can get back down in here. All right, so that's out there now. Keep scrolling down here. Here, you know, all this is included. Scope of work, intended use, interior, exterior inspection, prior services. You can go ahead and add a signature to get you all set up with that. And the footer, grab your reference number here. All righty. Let's check. Moment of truth. See if everything's compliant with Freddie. Validation successful. I was going to say, I'll let you, I don't know if you guys want to narrate on that or what.
Yeah, I can talk about this. So after you do clear all the errors off the report, your final step is to kind of submit it to the Freddie Mac or the Fannie Mae compliance checkers. All this is like the last check that you do before you send it off to your client. And we'll actually stop you from even exporting your report until you do get a successful response here.
Yeah, so let's just say this is all.
Yeah, try that out. You might need to let it didn't save in time. Just
Yeah,
try
it
doing it
didn't save.
again.
Yeah. Let's go back into here.
That was exactly an hour, by the way, Billy. That was about an hour.
It helps when you know it helps when the comps are already picked
And that's
in
with
advance.
all the interruptions and all the questions and all of that. So
So now it should come up with, hold on, let it load.
Probably gotta let it sit for a minute.
Yeah, I might need to just refresh.
Yeah.
Closing unit 2, but all set. You can go back in here. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yep.
Now it shows it. Go back in there, put that in. We're all set.
All done. Create the zip file and you're good to go.
Yep.